All right, let's talk about AI. We're going to dive into a really different way of thinking about it today. What if the real danger of AI isn't some robot army in the future, but a quiet change that's already happening right under our noses?
This quote right here, this is the whole idea in a nutshell. The framework we're looking at says we're all distracted by this sci-fi robot takeover idea, but the real risk, the thing we should actually be worried about, is the slow, steady erosion of human authority that's happening right now.
So here's a wild thought. What if we're asking the wrong question? We're all debating when AGI will show up, but what if it isn't a when at all? What if it's not some super smart computer we're waiting to turn on, but a global system that's already up and running? That's what we're digging into. Okay, so first, let's just admit it. We all have a certain picture of AGI in our heads. It's the one we've gotten from movies, from books, this single, powerful mind that flips a switch and changes the world. Yeah, we imagine this conscious, maybe even godlike machine, an ultra-intelligent being that just wakes up one day. You know, the whole technological singularity we're told to either get ready for or be terrified of. Well, this new way of thinking says that whole picture might just be a myth that's keeping us from seeing what's really going on. So, let's shift gears and talk about the core idea from this paper. It's about redefining AGI. Not as something coming in the future, but as a system that we are already living inside of. And here's that new definition. AGI isn't a thing, it's a structure. It's the huge, messy, interconnected web of humans and AI systems working together, or failing to work together, right now. I mean, think about it. AI is already part of our global finance, our job markets, our social media. That giant cooperative system, that's AGI. It's already here. This also changes what the G, the general part, in AGI means. It's not about one single AI that can do a bunch of different tasks. No. In this view, generality is about the system's wide-ranging general impact across the big pillars of society: our economy, our jobs, how we learn, and even our planet. Okay, so if AGI is a system we're already in, then what's the actual danger? Well, it's not a takeover. It's something the author calls displacement. So how does this displacement actually work? Well, it's a process. It starts when we start treating AI systems like they're the ultimate source of truth, not just a tool. And when that happens, step 2, we lose track of human accountability. Who's actually responsible? And that loss of traceability, that's what causes these system failures, this displacement. The result isn't some far-off sci-fi problem. It's the real-world stuff we deal with every day. The paper breaks it down into 4 specific risks. First, governance traceability. Basically, who's in charge when an AI makes a bad call? Second, information variety. Are we all just getting stuck in the same AI-generated echo chambers? Third, inference accountability. When a black box algorithm makes a decision, who takes the blame? And finally, intelligence integrity. Is our over-reliance on these systems actually making us worse at thinking for ourselves and solving big problems? So if the problem is a giant, failing system, where do you even begin to fix it? Well, the solution proposed here starts with a pretty basic idea. You can't improve what you don't measure. We need a totally new scorecard for society. The thinking goes, we need to look beyond old metrics like GDP. We need a new number, something that tells us how healthy our human AI systems actually are, a way to measure how well we're handling things like accountability and information integrity. So what's our score? Right now, according to this model, it's 17.2. This number comes from a new metric called the Superintelligence Index, or SI for short. You can think of it as a score out of 100 that measures how well coordinated our human AI society is. It's our grade on societal health. Now, let's put that 17.2 in context. Just look at this timeline. For decades, the score barely moved. It just crawled along. But then look at what's happened since 2016 with things like AlphaGo and the big language models. The score has exploded, jumping from 5.2 to 17.2 in just a few years. We're integrating AI like crazy, but we're still a long, long way from where we need to be. And that's the key. The goal, the target, is an SI score of 90 or higher. Getting to that number would mean we've built a society where our human AI systems are so well aligned that huge problems like poverty and misinformation are basically solved by the structure of the system itself. And, well, we're at 17.2. So this brings us to what's next. The framework doesn't just point out the problem, it actually models different paths forward, all based on the choices we make today about how we work together on a global scale. So, how do we get to 90? The model shows three possible timelines. If our efforts are weak and fragmented, we might get there around 2034. If we take a more balanced, standard approach, maybe 2028. And with a really aggressive, centralized push, it could happen as early as this year. But as you're about to see, faster doesn't necessarily mean better. And this table shows us why. Look at that strong coordination path. Sure, it gets us to a high score the fastest, but it comes with a huge risk. It creates a brittle system with the most governance displacement. Basically, to get that speed, you sacrifice the human accountability that makes the whole system stable and trustworthy. The balanced, canonical path seems to be the sweet spot. This is the big question, right? Why go through all this trouble? Why does chasing some number on a scorecard even matter? Well, the argument is that the benefits of getting this right are absolutely massive. In a world with a high SI score, the system would be so efficient that something like a universal high income could become a reality. Jobs could shift away from busy work and towards meaningful alignment work. Humans curating information and making sure the system stays healthy. Our schools could focus more on teaching us how to think, not just what to think. And a healthy planet might just become a natural result of a well-run global system. So at the end of the day, this whole framework shifts the conversation. It wants us to stop passively worrying about what some future AI might do to us and start actively deciding what kind of society we want to build with the AI we already have. The system is live, it's running. The only question left is how are we going to steer it? Which path are we going to take?